Well, the 12-gallon is gone, and now we have a brand new friend. Well, welcome back to the small Scape. I am so excited for so many different reasons. First of all, I am going to get to Scape. I think this is my first Bowfront tank, and I've wanted a Bowfront tank for a really long time, and today's the day. Thank you to Agno Aquatics in Ohio. We met them. We went to their beautiful fish store when we were there at the Ohio Cichlid Extravaganza. Amazing time that we had there, and their fish store, beautiful. They were kind enough to gift us this tank, this beautiful tank, the light, the filter, everything that goes with it. Thank you so very much to them. Check them out. You won't be disappointed if you're in the area. Highly recommend. It's an absolute must-see. Anyways, on to the Scape. What am I going to do? Well, it's also a Scape that I've wanted to do for a very, very long time. I call it like a tunnel Scape, but I want the back to be sloped up. I have a vision kind of, and what really helped was when I was at the Ohio Cichlid Extravaganza, right next to us was the OASE booth, and Jonathan at the OASE booth, which I had a really fun time talking to him. He's an aquascaper. And we were chatting and stuff, and I looked at his Scape, and that is my inspiration. I loved it. I was always staring at it. I was like stalking that tank, and this is my knockoff. I'm gonna do a knockoff of his Scape, and yeah, there we go. Really excited to use some driftwood that I got at that show as well, and some sweet plants that I've been waiting to use. Hopefully it'll all go well. And currently it's like after 11 o'clock at night. So wish me luck. here it is, it's all done. I am so excited to have this tank. As you can see, there is so much activity in here, and I'm going to go through the actual tank, and then all the plants I used and the occupants. I have some very cool plant in here that has a very cool kind of feature to it, and also some very, very special inhabitants. But let's start off with the tank. Again, thank you so much to Agno Aquatics for this tank. The light, the filter, it's an internal filter. This is an AquaTop 14.3 gallon Bowfront tank, and I love it. It's a great size to scape and really nice to kind of tuck in somewhere. But let's see, what did I use in here? First of all, let's start with the substrate. It was a mix of two different ones. Supernaturals is kind of the smaller grained sand that I used, and then also Stony River. It's an aquarium substrate that is kind of a little bit more larger grained, and it's a little bit lighter. I did mix those because I didn't want to run out, because I do have the back sloped up pretty high and I knew I'd be using some. So that is the substrate, and then of course Dragonstone. Love using Dragonstone, and especially if you want to use any little smaller pieces and scatter, kind of like a scatter that you drop around the larger rocks. I highly recommend using Dragonstone because it is so easy to just hit it with a hammer or even another rock and smash it into smaller pieces that you can use. And then I also used 2 pieces of Malaysian driftwood, which were already attached with, they were screwed into slate, which makes them super easy to stay down. And I did attempt to use a 3rd piece, but it was floating and it didn't work out in the scape anyway, so out it went. The backdrop is just a piece of black poster board, and there we go. So that's the tank. Now for the plants. I used a number of different plants in here, but as per usual, I like to keep it relatively simple and lower stocked than completely filling it up, because I don't want a lot of maintenance. And if the plants get larger, I don't want to have to worry about having to go in there and trim or reduce a lot of the plants. So I'm anxious to see how it all grows in. Along the back, I used primarily crypts, a lot of different crypts, baby crypts, larger crypts, and mostly Crypt Wendy. I also used 2 very large Anubias that provide a little bit of cover and a larger leaf, kind of a bolder leaf along the tunnel. Some of the plants working up front, I did also use the crypts in the side, but then in the front I switched to micro sword, which I love it. I only had 1 micro sword on hand, so I did kind of divvy it up to see how far I could stretch it. And the fascinating plant that I think you should keep in mind, at some point we'll do a species profile on it, I'm sure. It is Hydrocodal tripertata, I don't know how it's pronounced. I usually just call it hydrocodal. It's a fascinating little texture, so cute, and it's so easy to plant. You don't even plant it, you can just kind of lay it, kind of wedge it in between rocks, and it will eventually start kind of growing along there, and then it'll throw the roots down into the substrate. It's really, really cool. Or you can just float it, which I do have it floating in other tanks. I do also have just a few little pieces of Brazilian pennywort, which is kind of a similar texture, just a little bit larger, but little baby pieces, so they're very small right now. Now, if you look down in through the tunnel, I did add a piece of cholla wood from another tank. It already had a couple, 2 or 3 little pieces of Anubias and 1 single Buse on there, and I thought that was kind of interesting to put in there. Now for the inhabitants. I am so excited for this combo because there's greens, there's reds, and they're all so tiny. It's like I have multiple schools of fish, but they are so beautiful and they're also so adorable. This scape was built around getting green Kubotai Rasboras. I have probably about 8 to 10 of them, and then they are beautiful, beautiful fish. And if you like the Ember Tetra and how just beautifully orange they are, they have like a nice little shimmer, the green Kubotai you would love as well. They're very similar, they're different shaped and all that, but I think they coordinate very nicely. Really beautiful, both of them. I only have, I think, 5 or 6 Ember Tetras. And then I also have some chili Rasboras, which are adorable. They're super red, and they're just a cute little pop of color running around the tank, and they're so, so tiny and so cute. Also in the red theme, I also have some CPDs, otherwise known as the Galaxy Rasbora. And on the bottom of the tank, you will see pygmy Rasboras, a small little clan of them, maybe 5 or 6. And there we go. I will be adding a mystery snail or 2. That will be fun to watch them go poking around the tank. But that is the tank. Now this is the only tank that I've ever had an internal filter in. It's very cool. It's very quiet, and it's not really as in your face as, say, a sponge filter. So I am enjoying that, and I also did get that from Agno Aquatics, so very, very nice. Now, if I didn't mention it, the light is an aqua top. It's a sky aqua, and it lends a very nice look. It also comes in the option you can put on a blue light only, which is very cool and moody. So that's the tank. Let me know how you like it. Let me know, have you worked with any of these plants, especially like hydrocodal? Do you love it? Have you used it before? Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.